Hi, my friends. This also is going to be just a little bit different video, kind of akin to the last one I did on being spiritually healthy. And just, I figure, okay, I'm learning things, and perhaps you can learn things along with me, um, or go with me on my journey, if you will. Um, And so, one of the things that I, as a Christian, know that since I don't have a home church and I don't necessarily always believe in psychology as the answer for things, it's a helpful tool, maybe, but I always want to go to the source, which is our Heavenly Father, to God and to Jesus, because He is the source of everything, right? So, and I do that with anything, really. I hate the middleman. I, I, I want to go to the top. I want to talk to the CEO of the business. I don't want to talk to some middle person, okay? When I want to resolve things, I want to go right to the top. Um, and so, in my recent discoveries, um, I've had to rely wholly on God and trust in Him that He will be there for me. And but I also have to take the first step. Somebody said this to me a long time ago, and it stuck with me that we as Christians have to take the first step. You know, if you recall, Peter in the boat was tossing and turning, and it was a terrible seas, and the disciples were afraid in the boat. This happened twice, okay? And the one I'm thinking about is when Jesus is standing on the water and calls to Peter. And Peter has to take the first step, because he says, Peter, come, come out of the boat, come to me. And he sees the Lord, he loves the Lord, he loves the Lord so much. And so put yourself in his shoes, okay? You're flesh and blood. You see God, you know who he is, but yet you're still your spirit and soul, and you're still in your body. You have to take the first step. You've got to climb out of that boat and put your foot on the water. So imagine how your body is rebelling against that. This is not a good thing. We're going to die. This is when I die. Right? Okay? You imagine your little scenario going on in your head, your little track going on, your little thoughts going on in your head. Imagine what's going on in Peter's head now. He's got to take the first step, and he does. And he walks towards the Lord on the water. Then he loses faith and he starts to drown, and the Lord picks him up, because the Lord's there saying, trust me, I will be there when you're drowning. Okay? And so, as much as I want to reach out to man to save me, man cannot save man. Only Jesus can save you. Okay? So if you're feeling insecure, which is the root of my problem with the abuse and so forth like that, I became very insecure. Shy, some people would say, but mostly insecure I think is the correct word. So I have to give that to the Lord. Okay, Lord, I'm really insecure about all this. Who's gonna? I don't have a church. I don't have close Christian friends. who, for one, is going to accept me because I'm gay, and also because, I do believe in you and I love you, but I don't have any of these really close, um, uh, there are some people at work, but it's too difficult to speak freely at work all the time, um, without people giving you weird looks or, you know, wondering what it is that you're talking about. It's not always, it's not the best place to have a relationship, really. Work is work, you're there to work, and friendly social comments here and there, but that's about it. You can't really get deep at work. So that's a problem for me, um, but anyway, so um, I'm I'm listening, and I'm praying, and I know that I have to trust the Lord. So I'm looking in the Bible, and I'm at Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Okay, so let me just read this to you. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man. So there's an actual curse. Okay. And maketh the flesh his arm, and those heart departed from the Lord. So it's a false trust. So for me, it was like I was glomming on and clinging on to encouragement and nothing wrong with that, okay? Getting encouragement from other people, but it was becoming food for me, instead of the Lord, I think. It was becoming a security blanket instead of God. So it was almost becoming like an idol to me, I think. Okay? So, and I think out of God's mercy, He allowed things to happen the way that they did, so that I can learn this lesson. And doesn't mean that things can't be repaired. But this is a good lesson for me to learn, to trust in God, not in man, okay, for my substance, for my strength, for my encouragement, for my happiness, for my breath, okay? And I've said that before too, but sometimes even I have to relearn these things, okay? So, thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and making flesh his arm, whose heart departed from the Lord. So, verse 6, he shall be like a heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabited. So it's going to be drought, loss. It's going to be it's going to be bad. Okay. Blessed is the man whose trust in the Lord and whose hope is in the Lord. Okay. Blessed is the man who's trusted in the Lord and whose hope and whose hope the Lord is. For he shall be like a tree planted by the waters, that spreadeth out her roots by the river, shall not see when heat comes, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. So it won't care if a drought comes. It will still be bearing fruit. Okay? The heart is a deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? The Lord searches your heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings. So your life is tested. That's what we're reading about in Job now, which I'm going to be doing in just a minute. Okay? As the partridge sitteth on the eggs, hatcheth them not, so he that getteth riches, and not by right, shall leave them in the midst of his days, at his end shall be a fool. A glorious high throne from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary. So we are already in heaven in high places, and that's our beginning. And that's what we need to keep focus on, is the Lord and where we come from. We are loved. And okay, so let me just stop there. So anyway, that's where I'm at, okay? And in trusting in God for all things, that for everything. As much as I want to reach out, I'm just not going to do it to man. I'm going to reach out to God. And know that He will put everything in its right place, and that things will fall into place in their time, in their good time. And so whatever you're going through, first of all, remember, you have to take the first step to recognize what's going on in yourself. Tell the Lord that you're trusting Him for whatever your needs are. Take the steps. If you have to do self-denial, to deny yourself, that's also pleasing to the Lord. Okay. Self-denial in Matthew 16:24. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. In Luke 14:26, if any man cometh to me and hate not his father, mother, wife, children, brethren, sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Okay, so whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Romans 8:13, for if ye live after the flesh, you shall die. But if you go through the Spirit and do mortify the deeds of the body, you shall live. Romans 15:1, we then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak, and not to please ourselves. Self-denial, okay? Galatians 5:24, and they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the afflictions and lust. So sometimes you need to do self-denial. Deny yourself those pleasures, or the simple things, and let God take control. Let Him lead you in the way that He wants to lead you. Trust wholly in Him for your substance, for your existence, in all things. Anyway, that's the lesson I've learned. I hope it helps you. I hope it's a blessing to you. And I'll see you again very soon. I'm going to be reading the Bible, reading Job in just a minute. Okay. Have a happy Friday. All right. Bye-bye.